Hi, Ian Dainty here. Again, we're carrying on with our 101 marketing questions for business growth. And today we're going to look at question 45, which is a carry on from question 44. And today is why is the buying process or sales cycle, as we like to call it, so long in the B2B sales situation? But it really, you have to remember that you don't really sell, buyers buy. So they have to want what you want or need what you want in order to proceed, and they have to perceive that there is a need. And we'll get into that as we go through this. Now, don't forget that there are a bunch of major stages in the buying process. First of all, they have to be aware that they need something, and you can agitate that. And then there are certain things that you can do. You've seen this chart before if you've watched any of my videos. And then they evaluate, once they're aware, then they evaluate what's out there. And then that's the types of products and services that you can give them, or types of products and items that you can show them, both from awareness evaluation. Then they have to decide they're going to purchase. So these are all decision phases that they go through, and the different things that you can give them, usually for free, to help them along the buying process. And of course, all along in that process, what you should be doing is showing them that if they don't make the sale, what can happen to them. And of course, this is a typical buying process. Now, this is also a buying process in the consumer side. Maybe the pilot or deploying stage isn't as much, but you have to connect with them and consider. Then they consider what they need. Then they'll evaluate, etc. And so all of these things are the cycle that they go through, the customer or the client buying process, the B2B buying process that they go through. So let's look at that in a little bit more of a context of what exactly happens and why it takes so long in the B2B buying process. What affects it? Well, first of all, how far along are they in the buy cycle? Now, usually now in B2B, because of the internet, when people find you first, over 80% of people find you first, then they're somewhere between 40 and 60% along in the buy cycle. At least they've realized they got a problem that they have to fix, all right? Or they need something to help them move their business along, which is a problem. So where are they in the buy cycle? If we can catch them before that, then that's great. But that isn't necessarily true anymore. And then the size of the sale in dollars. How much does it cost? A $10,000 sale isn't going to take as long as $1,000,000 sale, obviously. And because the size of the sale, what is the effect on the client's company or corporation, in the sense that does it affect the whole operating unit? Does it affect just a small part of it? Now, the size of the sale in dollars and the effect on the client's company are usually correlated. Okay, but if you're going to buy a huge, or a company's going to buy, say, an ERP system, it's going to affect their whole company. It's going to affect the way that the accounts receivable people, all the financial people, but it's also going to affect IT. It'll probably affect sales, production. So all of those are going to be affected as they implement each module. And the size of the dollar is going to be quite big. And so where are they in the buy cycle? So all of those things are going to affect it. Who influences this sale? Is it just one group that influences? Well, we're going to talk about that next time. Who's involved in the influence of a sale? And there are actually 4 people or groups, and this is true in even a consumer sale, and I'll go through that. But in a B2B situation, they are very separate or disparate, and sometimes disparate groups that will affect the sale. And so the size of it and who's affected by the whole implementation process, of course, is a factor in why the buy cycle is so long. The status quo. Once they evaluate what's out there, they'll also look at the status quo. And as I've always mentioned, this is your biggest competitor. The status quo is always your biggest competitor. But if you're in early, you can help them overcome the status quo. And depending on how much they want to change, how productive they want to be, etc., always keep that in mind. The status quo is always your biggest competitor. Do they really need to change after they've evaluated everybody? And of course, the overall company situation. Are they in a growth mode? Is their marketplace declining? Are they ready to sell the company? Are they acquiring another company? Has there been a big change in management? All of these things, will, of course, will affect the buying cycle and whether your product or service is going to be important to them or not. And so you've got to keep all of these things in mind when you're in the B2B buying cycle. And a lot of people don't understand that. What's happening in their company, in their industry. All of these things are very, very, very important. Okay? So keep that in mind. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the influencers, but this is important that you understand why the buying cycle is so long. And I'm going to keep talking about this and ways that you can lower that or lessen it rather, and make it a little shorter through your marketing processes and sales, but marketing and sales processes. Thanks a lot. If you have any questions, please email me at this address. Just click below and do it. Please leave any comments, and please like this video so that your colleagues and other people can have a look at it and see how important these videos are to their business. Thanks a lot. Until next time.